So you are the first person I'm telling this. I haven't even told my partner. I haven't even told my parents.
Is he gay?
Give me more, me. Ooh, that is a tough question.
No one has made it to the top without having another gay by their side, okay? None of them.
The reason why I'm able to be me and be unapologetic and no fucks given is because I've been through it and I'm here now.
Welcome to Unshut, a place where if at any point you feel like you need to shut the up, don't. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Alex, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. You look great as always.
Thank you so much.
Of course. How's your morning been so far?
It's been chill. I usually wake up around 7, 8, go on a walk, touch some grass, and then I work. I work from home, so a little bit of that.
You're like a morning outdoorsy type of person.
Yes, I am. I am usually in bed by like 9 or 10, so
That's literally been my life lately. I am up for the past like almost 6 or 7 months. Alarm is set for 7, and it's the first thing I do is I go out for a walk with my girls, and I love it. I don't wear sunglasses. I don't know why. It's been like my new thing too to be like, you know what? Don't hide from the sun. I guess it's like the
Mhm.
hippie in me coming out, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Big thing for me is, to take your shoes off and touch some grass because like it literally like resets like your blood flow in your body. So I get that. I mean, sunglasses thing, no shoes, just the whole concept is to like reconnect with the earth. So
Absolutely. Are you into it's called grounding, right?
yes, it's called grounding. I am a hippie too. Like I know, on stage I'm a rock star and like online the it's a rock star badass persona, but in my personal life, which I love to keep, separate, I am super into the holistic approach and, the longevity of life, it's the only life that we have. So why not make it the best and be as healthy as possible?
Dude, absolutely. And I'm glad you called yourself a fucking rock star on stage because for the listeners, because we're already recording, we're already going, it's how we met. We met in Dallas a month or so ago. You were performing. And I have to tell you, Alex, this is an invite only podcast, okay? I get inquiries all the fucking time. People are like, oh, you had this band, you had this person, I want to be on. I was not leaving fucking Dallas until I spoke to you. So.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So before we even start, because I do want to talk about your new EP and I do have some things we're going to do today, I want for the listeners to know we met at a Seven Sins concert. You opened up for him. How did that alignment happen? How did you come about opening for that show?
Personally, I love his music. It really connects with me, that like rock, rap, like indie type of swagger. So I currently work with, for whatever you want to say, Third String Entertainment. I have a bunch of friends in that coalition, in that company. They said, hey, like Seven Sins is coming to Dallas and we really think like you would fit this. And like, I'm not even gonna lie, I was a little bit, like, I don't know if the word is nervous, but I was like, I don't think I fit this. Like, I really don't. Like, I had two choices in my head and I was really leaning towards having like an acoustic set, which would have been the exact opposite of what you heard. And I feel like you probably wouldn't have came up to me. This probably wouldn't have happened if I went that route and went through that like softer set of mine. And I was having an internal conflict, like, man, do the soft shit or like just do me. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna do me, like, yes, it's him. He's softer, rockier, edgier. But this is me. I'm just gonna sell this, So that's how it really happened was just, being in the same type of like genre and, the booking agencies just filling in the spaces.
Well, I've got to tell you, I personally feel like, and that sounds so formal, but I really do feel like had you have gone the acoustic route, I probably still would have hit you up. And I'll tell you why. There is a level of stage presence that it requires for any genre. You have it. You have the it thing that I know for me. Like I've been in the industry my entire life. I go to concerts. I'm a concert whore. I love them. I can genuinely tell you that there's something so effortless about you being on stage. Literally from this, before you even fucking turned on the mic, dude, like you stepped up and I was like, oh, who is this? Like, I've got to talk to this person. I was shook. So either way, I think this alignment would have happened nonetheless. But I also wanted to ask you, who was the person that was on stage with you that night?
Yeah, so that is Gimme. He is fucking amazing. I gave him a chance a couple months ago. He was like, "Hey, I run audio and I also MC," which is like MC is like, the person with the extra mic or, people say hype man, whatever you want to call it. He's like, "I do this." And I'm like, I don't like need anybody on stage with me. I'm very much like, I'm not saying loner because, if you see me pull up to my shows, I do have, my people with me, but I don't like other people on stage with me. I'm very much like, let me do my thing. Because if you mess up, I'm about to be really mad. But I gave him a chance. He's also a music artist himself. He's a DJ too, and he runs my audio. So gave him a chance, and I'm like not going back. Like he takes my confidence there. He knows all my music. He gets the crowd going, and he's also one of my best friends. So it just worked out. We became best friends through this experience. I met him just this year, so I'm really excited. I mean, I'm bringing him on tour with me. I am taking this man wherever I go because he not only runs my sound, like I said, but like he just brings this confidence in me, having my best friend up there. So yeah, that's Gimme.
No, the chemistry was impeccable. I absolutely loved it. But I'm also glad you brought up your entourage because, listen, I have been dying to talk to you about this, but I didn't want to DM you about it. I didn't want to talk about it off record with you. So I'm going to probably catch you off guard with this. There was someone who I believe came with you to that show who was front and center at your show. Do you know who I'm talking about, or am I making shit up?
Was he a boy?
Yes.
I think you're talking about his name is Dite, but he goes by Javel. Yeah, so I'm part of the LGBTQ plus community, and so my friends reflect that. And so Dite is a super proud member of the community, and he is an it girl. So yeah, I think you're talking about Dite.
No, that's exactly who I was talking about. And honestly, for weeks, okay, for weeks, Alex, I'm like, how do I ask? Is he gay? I didn't know. I didn't want to assume because, I'm part of that
Yeah,
crew too, but I didn't want to, you never want to be disrespectful. And I can
right.
listen, I'm flamboyant, but I can be hood as fuck too. So I'm like, you never want to like insult people. But let me tell you, Alex, are you ready for this shit?
Yes.
I knew you were going to make it in this industry the second I saw him in the front center of that stage, rocking the fuck out. And I'll tell you why. I have a theory. If you look at any pop, rock, hip hop artist icon in this industry, whether it's Beyonce, Britney, Madonna, any of them, Lady Gaga, one of them too, no one has made it to the top without having another gay by their side, okay? None of them.
Period.
I was like, holy shit.
100%.
And it's so true. Like every artist, they have that one gay friend that they've made it because of. And if you don't have a gay fandom, you're not fucking making it. I'm sorry.
No, I swear, Dite plays my music at the family functions. He'll play my music with his other friends, because my friends have friends. He will put on for me and he'll be like, this girl is next. This girl is next. Like, y'all are late, but this girl is next. He's going to be so happy we talked about him.
Huge shout out to him. We all need that type of support in our lives. And I showed up to the concert completely by myself. It was a very spontaneous thing, but I was so like, damn, that is the reason that level of support is people like us make it in this industry. The ride or die energy was so badass. So shout out to him. I am obsessed with him. So yes, I can't wait for him to listen to this part of the episode.
Yeah.
I want you to take me back real quick. Where were you born and where are you originally from?
So I am from Fort Worth, Texas. I was born there. I originally came to Dallas I've been transporting myself to Dallas since like 2016, but I think around 2018 through 2020, I really was like, you know what? I really love Dallas. And so I've been actually living here now for about 4 years.
Very cool. Take me back to something I read maybe a couple days ago. You're mixed, correct? You're Latina also?
Yes. My mom is from Chihuahua, Mexico, and my dad is African American. I'm a child of divorce. So my mother remarried to a wonderful man, and he is also Mexican. So I was raised in a household with a bunch of, Latinos and, speaking Spanish and reading and writing it, and Juanes playing on the radio, and Julieta Venegas and Maná, and like all these things. And also like looking a lot more different than everyone in my family, being on the morena side and being, morenita y negrita, it sounds crazy, but it's like a term of endearment in the community. So it was interesting. I'm definitely a lot more Mexicana than I look, but I embrace it and I take it as like an educating, standpoint. A lot of people don't know it, and then I'll speak Spanish and they're like, holy shit. And so, yeah.
No, I was not expecting the clear pronunciations. I'm so in awe with you.
Yes, that's like my secret like game card at the parties, or recently I was at the Young Miko concert, which was phenomenal. And I'm singing all the songs word for word, and this couple next to me are like, "Okay, she actually must understand what she's saying." And I'm like, "Yes, I do understand what I'm saying." So it was cool.
No, that is so awesome. I literally read that a couple days ago and I'm like, we have to talk about it because obviously I'm Latino as well. And I saw somewhere that you had talked about Juanes. And I was like, wait, no one just randomly fucking drops Juanes. And now that you're talking about Julieta Venega and Mana, I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I am so fucking glad we met. And I
Yes.
have to also tell you too, we have to talk about your hair. You can pull anything off. I saw you with white hair, short hair, long hair, curly hair. So walk me through what inspires your daily look. Like, who do you lean towards for approval of what you want your image to be, right? Especially as a musician.
It's really more so internal. Like if I am feeling like I'm gonna have like a personal, I say personal, that means no shows, no meet and greets, nothing like that. I'm gonna have a personal month. You'll see me with my hair curly, my hair natural. I won't have the braids in. And then I'm, having a talk with you and I get my hair done yesterday and I have a show in a week and a half. So now I'm stepping into, my show persona. You actually caught me at like a weird time. It was my first show having curly hair. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like I want these people to recognize me with my curly hair because I will walk past my friends with my afro out. They will just, not recognize me. And I'm like, hey. And they're like, holy shit. They're like, we did not know that was you. Or like, I'll have blonde hair or like whatever. Like, I want to start forcing my curly natural hair in these people's faces because, like I said, they don't recognize me or they don't know it's, it's still who I am. This is who I am in my personal life, the natural fro or like the slick back bun, So it's really just like an internal thing or like what's going on. Obviously, like show Alex, performer Alex, Alex Irish, you'll see the braids, you'll see a bunch of braids, you'll see, dreadlocks maybe, but you're going to start to see the curly hair Alex more because I'm sick of getting ignored.
You have to do what you have to do. And I feel like, and I think this is just a really good message for anyone listening, because I think that that internal scream of it's my fucking time, you can't teach it to people. It truly does come from within. And I love that you're experimenting with that because that is what elevates your performances, your security, your confidence. And if I'm not mistaken, there was something I related to a lot. You said in an interview, you called the energy like nasty. It was just nasty. But I also love
Mhm,
that somewhere along there you talked about confidence. I don't think people
mhm,
realize that that level of grit is what it
mhm,
requires to keep consistent after flopping, not getting views, etc. So I love that
mm.
you're exploring that part of you. Did you feel good post show with the curly hair?
I did. I watched videos of myself and I'm just like swinging the fro. And I was like, okay, like, wait.
Top of the ceiling, and I got the internet feeling. In the clouds rolling, I'm breathing. Red is in my eyes. Believe me, red is in my eyes. I can take you higher than the pearly gates. Look inside the mirror, tell me what it said. Yeah. Look inside the mirror, tell me what it said. Yeah.
I actually like I look confident because on the other side of this, I wasn't confident. I was like, man, battling. Should I get my hair braided last minute? Like, but watching the videos, I was like, yo, it's kind of badass. And like I'm in my element and I am me, like raw, authentic me. And I rocked that fucking show. And everyone was like, yo, that was a crazy fucking show. So worked out.
No, it overly worked out. I was so just again, and I know I'll repeat myself over and over, but I was just so shook because something I said, I did a recap of that concert on another episode, and I remember talking about how I was so impressed with how you as an artist can give us femininity. You can give us masculine vibes. You can give us in your face, very reserved. There was so much versatility in your set. It honestly should have been fucking longer. So, how long can we expect for anyone listening that's following your journey, that loves your music? What can they expect touring wise in the future? I know there are probably plans, and it's very difficult to plan something so far in advance because everyone knows it's just not the easiest industry, right? If it
Right.
was so easy, anyone would just do it and make it, right?
Mhm.
But what can they expect in regards to live shows in the future?
They can definitely expect acoustic versions of my music and a full band. I do have a band that I practice with. I do have shows here in Dallas with a full band, bass, electric guitar, drums. But when I do hit the road, that's coming with me. And it also just depends on, the tour itself. Just like you said, it's show business. If I get picked up in a rap tour, my band show isn't gonna really work. Usually the rap shows don't even have space for a band. If I get booked for a rock tour, bringing that band with me. So it really just all depends on, the energy. Either way, I'm gonna bring it. Either way, it's gonna be in your face. I won't lie, my favorite shows are with my band. I just get to finally hear and feel, my production come to life. And I feel a huge difference in my confidence and in my performance when my band is right behind me and we're all just jamming out and having a good time. So you definitely need to come catch one of those shows. I'm hoping to have one next year. I think I'm done with shows for the rest of the year. I'm really just going to dial in and work on some new music.
I cannot wait. And yes, you'll have to send me dates once you have them with the band. I think it'd be so sick. When did you realize that you were able? Because I think that every artist starts with a level of delusion, right? We all think we are this creative being, and until you dive into it, you don't really know what you're capable of. At what
Yeah.
point did you realize I can do acoustic, I can do pop, I can do heavy metal, I can do rap, I can do hip hop? You can do a lot, and I'm so impressed by that. When was that moment for you?
So I've always been a rock girl. A lot of people don't know this, but I was like in a Christian rock band when I was like 15 to 18 years old in my church. Played the bass guitar, I played the guitar. I've always had this like rock, but it was just toned down. Obviously, it's at a church. So I always had it in me. My music taste has always just been all over the place. I think my biggest experiment was like hip hop, like my first EP. That was the biggest experiment yet. Like I'm just doing this rap and like because it fits right now and it fits the look. But when I switched over to rock, it was like, yes, like this is easy. Let's do it. I can do it. Oh, you need me to do screamo? Easy. Let's do it. That was like the easiest part of it all. And doing I actually do have a pop song, Not Again, pop rock. Easy. Let's do it. Like that was simple. The most experimenting that I do is like with the hip hop because that's really not what I grew up listening to. It wasn't, in my household. I have someone in a friend. His name is Rakim, and his father was a huge rapper. You know what I'm saying? So like rap to him is like nothing. To me, I was like, okay, almost mimicking in a way. Obviously, still Alex Irish. I feel like I have found my voice, and when I say mimicking, I'm definitely referring to my first EP. Now I feel like I've bloomed into my full on whatever it is, rap, pop, country, rock. It's going to be Alex Irish no matter what. But my first EP was definitely an experiment of hip hop, like, all right, like let's try this. This is easy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying all hip hop is easy, no slug, but that's what was easy for me at the time.
No, I love that. And I think it's also so important to confuse your audience a little bit because that level of mystery is what not only attracts a larger audience, but the fact that you can do so many different genres, I think is what keeps things interesting. And I want to talk about Ride My Bike Like This real quick. Okay. Do you know who Night Owl is?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I probably fucked it up myself, honestly. So hopefully I did say it right. There's this group, I believe they were a duo. And again, I think I'm fucking all this up right now, but it just randomly came to mind right now. That level of sound that was very not confusing in a negative way, but it was very like trancy, very
Mhm.
EDM-ish, very popish, very smooth. There was some R&B in there. That song for me in your catalog had me fucked up. I was listening to it multiple times because I'm like, what genre would this fit in? And I love that about music. I think music should be experimental. What category would you put that one in?
I would feel like it would be like a lo-fi EDM-ish, very lo-fi. So that whole song, it's a very interesting story. That song is dedicated to my parents, and it's called Ride My Bike to this because I couldn't do anything but ride my bike because I had an injury at the time, and it was a life-changing thing. We'll get into that later, probably. It is a confusing song because I'm really not saying words. Like this is a one take. I was in the booth, and this guy was creating the beat as I am into the mic. And I'm saying, I'm trying to figure it out. Can you turn me up? Trying to figure it out. I'm trying to follow it up. Like I'm literally like asking him, turn my mic up. I'm trying to figure it out. I want to see what this is about. No doubt, like just saying whatever rhymes, whatever works. And after 3 minutes, he's like, come out here, come listen to this. And we listened to it and we're like, what? Like we laughed and we were like, wait, he's like, it could work. And I was like, okay, do you want me to go back in there and say words? He's like, no, no, no. Like, this is good. Like, I am mumbling the first minute of the song and then the last. I'm trying to figure it out. I never figured it out and I never let you down. Like, that's it. That's the song. And I believe that was my first single. And I was so nervous and I got so much different feedback. I have fans text me late at night, yo, this is fucking crazy. I have people say, so I mean, for the fans that love it, I love it too. And it's like really special to me. And if you've seen the video, it's very captivating and it tells the story. And if you haven't seen the video, go check it out. Maybe it'll like give you a different perspective on the song.
You know, try to figure it out, and let it down. Figure it out. Oh, let's see what that's about. Ain't no doubt.
I think confusing is a really good word, and I don't take it negatively because I was confused too when I came out of that booth.
I talk about this often on episodes when this happens to me, and it's why I always preach to everyone, just be intuitive with what you do. I sound like a broken fucking record when I do that, but I didn't know that. Had I have not talked about that song or pointed it out, that connection would have never happened for me. So for selfish reasons, I live for these moments because that's chaotic to me. I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't know that. That's so amazing. Are you going to be working with that producer in any future projects that you can think of?
No, unfortunately, I won't be.
We don't have to get into it if it's messy. I didn't know. I didn't know that was the answer. Anyway, so that song was incredible, but I do want to talk about something real quick. Now I'm blushing. My face is red.
I'm dead.
That's literally what happens when you try to improv off of branching off the conversation. Whoops.
You're
But
like, give me more, me.
when it comes to your injury that you talked about, I was 2 years old when I read that story. You had made a post about an article, but I had not opened the article up, so that was on my to-do list this morning. Holy fuck, I had no idea. I do have a very kind of a dark personal question to go with that afterwards, but for the listeners who don't know, would you mind sharing that story?
Yeah, of course. I believe that the pain and the trauma that we go through makes you a teacher, and it not necessarily pain, happiness, good experiences can make you a teacher in life. So I love telling my story. It's also a way for me to heal. So in 2021, I was walking home like I did in Deep Ellum, and I was followed unbeknownst to me. And as I was getting into my car, a man approached me and wanted my car, wanted everything I had. And, there was a struggle, and he ended up shooting me twice in my upper thigh and breaking my femur. And it was a shit show. I did not know if I was going to live or die. It felt like hours, but it had been like 30 seconds. I'm like trying to stand up and I can't stand up. My leg is like, you have that initial like adrenaline, like I heard gun sounds and I was blown back, but like I didn't feel it yet. So I was trying to stand up and feeling for my phone, and my phone was gone, and I can't stand up. And The guy drives off in my car. Before I could even say anything or do anything, a good Samaritan ran up to me and was like, "Hey, I saw everything. The police are on the way." And that's when it kind of like settled in, like, yeah, this just happened, like I was just a victim of a shooting, like I just got shot and I can't move anything below my waist. I'm bleeding profusely and I'm feeling like I'm sinking more and more and more into the sky, into the moon. I really don't know if I'm going to live or die. I don't hear police sirens. I know help is on the way. So that's keeping me calm, but I don't see it. And like I said, this feels like eternity. This feels like hours. And so I start thinking about my family. I start thinking about my life. And all I'm thinking about is my mom. I'm sorry. My dad, I'm sorry. My sister, I'm sorry. Like you guys are gonna have to pay for a funeral and I did nothing with my life. This was Alex pre-music. I had no music out in the world to leave a legacy and I had nothing. I really was just a free spirit at the time and I was still figuring it out, as Ride My Bike to This says. I felt like I had left nothing to make my family proud. I had left no legacy, no positive impact. And that is what was killing me, what it felt like, not the bullet in my leg, but the fact that I literally let these people down that I loved so much with nothing to show for it. So ambulance comes, I'm in the hospital. The bullet broke my leg in half, like literally. I'm in the hospital for a week and I get out. I can't walk for like half a year. I'm 23 and like teaching myself how to walk again. Fast forward to 2024. So like what, 3 years now. Next month will be 3 years since that happened. And I am an advocate against, gun violence. I work for a nonprofit. It's called Journey Forward. It's for victims of all sorts, but it was mainly started for gun violence victims. And, I didn't the show you went to, but I usually speak about it. The show you went to felt like a friends and family show. I didn't speak about it. A lot of people already know, but I have had a show recently in July where I spoke about it, like talk it out, stop with the guns, like it's like literally killing us. Because what happened to me happened on a Wednesday night at 9 p.m. This wasn't 1 in the morning or like gang violence. This was just me walking home, someone wanting what I had, and the only way they could take it was by almost ending my life. He's in jail for the rest of his life now. And that's just, I feel like it's a lose-lose. I didn't win by him going to jail for the rest of his life. I mean, the justice system did. He's never going to hurt anybody else. But that's just not the type of person I am, is to lock somebody up for the rest of their lives. I'm a forgiving person. I forgave him like almost instantly. Yeah, I was fucked up, but like that's his shit, I forgave him. I move on with my life. I obviously have bigger fish to fry. I need to learn how to walk. I need to learn how to get past my PTSD. Like I can't hear a loud noise without, it literally rocking me to my core. I can't, get past the thought of like, why me? And like, why didn't I die? I was just having extreme PTSD for a long time. And so that's where music came in. Not only wanting to leave a positive legacy and like, when I leave this world, is there going to be something that people can know me by or remember me by? So yeah, that's a long story made short.
No, that's such a touching story because I feel like that pivotal moment in your life, you were able to make something beautiful out of something so tragic. And unfortunately, we don't have enough of those examples. So people throw in the towel way too early. They become slaves to their misery, no goals, not having any ambition. And so I really do admire you for that. I didn't know the extent of that story. At what point after it happened, did music come into mind, right? You were already fighting to learn how to walk. You were fighting to recover the emotional trauma that came with this. At what point did music cross your mind? How far after the fact?
Like almost instantaneously. Like I was going into the studio in a walker. There's pictures of me in the studio in a wheelchair. I don't like to show those things. I'm very personal with my life. Yeah, it would make a hell of a story and probably make me so famous and like being the person who's showing, I don't know. It was a personal moment for me. It's a testimony to my growth. And for me, it's like a sacred thing for me. But I was like almost instantly in the studio, which was like absolutely terrifying for my parents, like this just happened to you in Dallas. And you want to go back to Dallas and you want to go be in those unsafe places. And I was like almost not allowing myself to feel like how traumatic that event was. I am an Aquarius. I don't know if you know much about astrology, but we are very aloof to our feelings, like I started feeling the PTSD way after, or I was around my friends, so I wasn't allowing myself to feel it, and I would feel it later. Like I would go home and be like, oh my gosh, like this happened to me, and I'm bawling and I'm crying, and then I'll go to my with my friends and I'll be like, yeah, it happened. I'm here, It was such an interesting time. I made Psycho. Psycho is about me. It's about like PTSD. And a lot of people think it's about a girl. And sometimes I like to joke, like, yeah, this is about a girl, but it's really about like my post-traumatic stress that I was having. So yeah, to answer your question, almost instantly, I was just like, yo, I almost died and like I need to start my legacy now. Not when I do die, not when I'm dying, like I need to do it now.
I feel like that is what created beauty out of that, because what you just said, you use the word testimony, and I love that testimony is a very personal journey to a lot of people. And I think that there's a level of exposing, there you go, exposing that testimony out into the world at the right time. Because I think a lot of people don't sit with their testimony long enough. They go and put it out into the world, and in return, that's all they have to identify themselves as an artist or as the story. So I love that you've created this space of it being an intimate thing for you only. And whenever that time does happen, if you ever get to a point where you do want to share those images and share more of that story, it's not going to be your only identifier. And I think that's a very beautiful thing. So something you talked about being in a wheelchair in the studio, right? I have a very personal question. Do you think if walking would have never came back to you, you still would have pursued music?
Ooh, that is a tough question. I don't think so. No, I feel like a part of my story and my testimony is the triumph. It's the tragedy and it's the triumph. You can hear it in my music. You can hear tragedy, melancholy. You can hear sadness, madness, nastiness. But the production is saying triumph, greatness, success, ambition, So thank God that I was able to recover. And, I think I just would have probably had like a slower delay. I would have had so much on my plate, so much on my mind. I probably would have been a music artist, but definitely not the Alex Irish that you're seeing today. Probably someone more on the softer side, on the more sensitive side of things, But the reason why I'm able to be me and be unapologetic and no fucks given is because I've been through it and I'm here now. So like that tragedy meets the triumph, that's in all of my music. No matter if you're listening to my slow shit, if you're listening to my new stuff, like that is kind of like the underlying message. And I'm not saying triumph and tragedy in every song. I don't think I've ever said those two words in my songs, but that is the theme.
No, and I literally just associated the word triumph. Did I say that right? Triumph? I fuck up words all the time, but I immediately associated that word to Loud, which is the new EP.
Yes.
Is there a connection with that word Loud and this story that you're telling as the name of your latest EP?
100%. So Loud feels like part two of my first EP, Renacida, Reborn, I got it tattooed right here. I feel like Loud is like part two of that, mainly because the subjects are very similar, like that mindset is very similar. Me being freshly sewn, like literally scars sewn on my body with Renacida, with Psycho, Valley, and Hills, and Loud, where I have these beautiful scars that tell a story and that I'm learning to love and they're healed and I'm good and I'm going. Loud is like that representation. So yeah, those two are like right here and there. And it's not a coincidence that they're both 3 tracks. I got Follow Your Plan. Follow Your Plan is like the overall message of my life. When I was literally crippled in PTSD, like I was obviously crippled, but like it was the PTSD that had my mind like on lock, like follow your plan was my mantra. Like, follow it. God put you through this. Life put you through this. Whatever I want to believe in, whatever has chosen this path for me and I need to just follow it and see it through. So follow your plan is just like, oh my gosh, it's like my life's message in one song, like quite literally. Now I understand life doesn't always follow your plan. Like this shit was not a part of my plan, but I followed my plan. So like it's like a double entendre in that song, in that line. Now I understand life doesn't always follow your plan. And then I say, follow your plan, like it sounds like an echo, but it's not. It's me saying, now follow your plan, like this wasn't it, but now follow yours. You know what I'm saying? And that's not only the underlying message in my life and what I've been through, but in a lot of the relationships that I have in the music industry. Like I really thought it was going to be this, and I was with these people and with this entourage, and it was not that. And I really thought it was going to be this, and it was with this group, and it's not that. But guess what? I'm going to follow my plan, which is good ass fucking music, good ass integrity, good person, not letting anything else fuck with me, and being consistent. That's me. That's my plan. So
Well, I immediately also think of song titles that you have, Mirror being another one of them. You're talking about this self-integrity and this self-purpose and following your plan, right? Not the plan that you thought you had, but it's redirection. Even just the song title alone, take away the music, take away the lyrics, your song title, Mirror, exudes that, right? You can't get anywhere in life without self-reflecting. Is that also part of that inspiration for some of these song titles that you have? Because I'm putting so much together right now, and I am just like, holy shit, like this is so powerful. It's even more than you. It's more than your message. It's bigger. And that is purpose to me. So I love that.
Yes, 100%. I have follow your plan, and then I have alive, and then I have mirror. All of that. I always try to pick, a theme, a message. Obviously, everyone does for their song, but I don't just necessarily try to go for what's in the song. Yes, those words are in the song, but like it's a mantra. It's the mantra of the song.
In my opinion, and this is just a random question because I'm curious, has it ever crossed your mind to dive into other artistic ventures? Whenever I talk to artists, specifically artists like you that are putting connections to the dots for me that I wasn't expecting, I didn't know we were going to make some of those dots connect and they're just beautifully happening on their own. Are you open to other artistic outlets such as writing books? Is there something in the future that you have considered that would be outside of music as well?
So you are the first person I'm telling this. I haven't even told my partner. I haven't even told my parents, but I have started a book and, I'm very interested to see where it goes, if it's just a personal friends and family book or, I decide to go the mainstream way. But I am definitely before Alex Irish was the music person. I was Alex Irish, the creative child. I could do anything, you know what I'm saying? I was doing photography. I am in my current job right now, I do graphic design. So like I've always just been such a creativity comes easy to me. I'm not one of those people that is just like banging their heads, trying to be creative. And I think that shows like in my music, it's very easy for me to drop an album, but not only drop an album, but have a marketing plan that's cohesive and a photo shoot that's cohesive and colors that are cohesive and fonts and like, all of this marketing. It's because, my real day job, my 9 to 5, I do marketing, I do graphic design, I do the putting together the pieces for other businesses, so yeah, I am starting a book. Like I said, I'm going to be the first book writer in my family. I am the first, music artist in my family. So it's a lonely but exciting venture. I don't know any book writers in my social circle right now. So, like I said, lonely but exciting. I'm going to take it at my pace. I have a lot to talk about, and I just want it to be a teaching moment. I don't want to be a high school teacher. I want to be the first teacher you fell in love with. I fell in love with my teacher, Miss Roach. She was graceful. She was loving. She also taught me, I don't want to be the bad version of the teacher that we have in our mind, So it's just finding a way to be graceful and, understanding in this book. I'm really excited.
I'm so excited for you. And there are two things I want to pinpoint real quick because this is something I've never really talked on record before. I don't do prep prior to interviews. And I want everyone listening to know that whenever I book interviews with artists, there is zero preparation. You and I did not discuss topics. We did not discuss anything of that nature. I am very I am very vocal about telling my guests if they're, concerts or, anything that you do want to discuss, let me know so I can bring it up and shout out those dates and venues, etc. But when it comes to actual conversation, there is no prepping at all. Again, it's the reason why I preach to be intuitive and have good intention with what you're doing because I come up with these random questions in my head and I have to just rock with them. And literally 99.9% of the time, they're what creates the magic in my episodes, you know? So thank you so much for sharing that about the book. I'm super excited for you. And the second thing I want to say to you is, holy shit, dude, I literally just had this meltdown a couple days ago with my partner when I was like, I'm the only one. Literally, I'm the only one in my family who pursued choreography, who pursued a creative journey out of the 50 plus family members I have, I'm the only one. And I'm the only one that's actually pursuing it and doing it. And that's not to throw shade at the family member,
Mhm.
or to my family members, but it's just to basically say I'm painting the picture of what it's like when you truly finally acknowledge the fact that what you're pursuing is so lonely because you're the only one doing it. So
Mhm.
I'm just in complete awe with the fact that you're even saying those things. I'm like, again, we didn't prep. So, Alex, tell everyone on record we didn't prep for this shit.
We did not prep. Like, I'm being so dead ass. Like, if we got to prep, then
Thumbs down, big time. Exactly.
I don't want to be on the podcast if we have to prep.
Facts. Same. I don't want to be the host of a podcast if we have to prep. Only thing I'm prepping for is not for this podcast. Oh, God. Anyways, scratch that. But, oh, we'll keep it. We'll keep it. Fuck. Anyway, something I wanted to do with you real quick. This is what sparked a lot of inspiration for me. The term twisted in your
Mhm.
catalog spoke volumes to me the second I got in my car, left Dallas, and I played you on Spotify. So, in honor of Twisted Metal, I'm going to ask you some questions, and this is officially called Twisted Genre. Are you
Okay,
ready?
let's do it.
So we're going to creatively collab a little bit, okay? Just to see where we're at. But the first one is Twisted Pop. If you could reimagine a current pop song right now and give it an Alex Irish twist, which song would it be?
Okay, okay, okay. It would probably be Billie Eilish's Birds of a Feather. I feel like in my little brain when I listen to it, I'm like, man, okay, I have a big brain, but in my brain, I'm like, man, this would sound fucking crazy, like super like hard rock metal. Any of Sabrina Carpenter's music, like Babes. I love her. I love Sabrina Carpenter. I'm a big fan. Any of her music, like super rock, I would be down. I would be so open to that.
Okay, so I'm mind blown because my original question, which I deleted off my notes, my original question for this genre was not even scratching pop, but this is how I branched into these questions, was asking you what genre would you twist in any current song that had the complete opposite feel. So the fact that you even said something like Birds of a Feather, which is a very soft pop song, mind blows me because I'm like, that's exactly where I was going with that question originally. So I love that. Definitely won't put you on the spot to give it, the rock out thing right now, but this is just the creative side to hopefully spark some inspiration in the future. Okay.
Yes, yes.
The second one I have is Twisted Country. Would you ever consider doing anything with country music?
100%. So if you know me, I'm from a little country town, and my parents, they love country music. I even spent some time in high school working at a country club. So, country music is something that, I grew up listening to. I mean, most of us here in Texas grew up listening to country. I have a close friend, his name is Angel White. We went to the same high school and he is at the CMT Awards. He is, a huge country guy. I think about sometimes, man, like what if me and Angel did a song together? Like, how would that sound? And I can't wrap my mind around what it would sound like, but I do pride myself in being someone who can fluctuate voices. I do think I could be like a voice actor someday, or, I was in choir. All through high school, in middle school too. So I was a soprano in middle school, and then I was, an alto all through high school. So like I'm very much aware, like the voice can do so much. And so country, I'll do it. I'm so down.
Hell yeah. And it's so funny that you talk about this also because I mentioned it a little bit ago and well, not a little bit ago in the beginning of us recording, the versatility in your voice. It was the one thing that made me literally feel so captivated by you. And it's not just tone. I want to be very specific about this. It wasn't like, oh, she can sing and she can rap. It's not about
Mhm,
that. It's about the different textures in your voice.
mhm.
So it's a little bit deeper than that. I'm kind of like, all right, like, yeah, it really does show in the versatility of genres, which is why I wanted to ask you these questions because I'm like, she could literally pull off any genre in my book. So the third one I have is Twisted Decade. You have the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. Which decade would you rock out to?
I'm a huge 90s girl. I was born in 98, but me and my mom are only 15 years apart. My mom had me at a very young age. So her adolescence were the 90s. So, growing up with my mom almost being like super close in age and like looking up to her and seeing how young and beautiful she was, I was also captivated by everything that she liked. So she loved 90s music. And my mom is one of those people that would listen to 90s rock and then would be listening to 90s rap and 90s pop. So I love the 90s. It was definitely something I clung onto in middle school and like high school. Stone Temple Pilots, Pearl Jam, like old 90s ass rock stars. That's the type of stuff that I learned how to play on the bass guitar and was playing. So yeah.
No, that is so sick. So I had on here to talk about Courtney Love, 90s music, like when it came to 90s rock music. She, in my opinion, she's just one of my favorites. But I immediately thought of like the song Malibu. If you haven't heard it, definitely look it up later. It's definitely a vibe that I'm like, again, because for selfish reasons, I'm like, she can pull anything off. That's the one thing I wrote in my notes that I'm like, that would be a great genre style for her to add the Alex Irish to it
Yes.
today. So absolutely. The last one I have is Twisted Latin. Any chance you'll do Spanish in the future? Moving on.
Yeah, so I actually just completed my first English and Spanish rock song.
That is insane, dude. What the fuck? No prepping, everyone. Holy shit.
Yeah, no, literally, you're just asking all the right questions. So yeah, I don't know where it fits yet. That is the crazy part about being a music artist that is so versatile and I'll say all over the place. You'll say versatile, tomato, tomato, and it's always about perspective. I might feel like my set was shitty, and then I have a fan will like, yo, what the fuck? Like that was fucking crazy. So I really try to take perspective in everything, especially in my own like personal experience. Right now, my perspective is like, oh, when will I drop this? When will this make sense? My fans are like, now. It makes sense now. Drop it now. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about perspective. I don't know when it'll fit. I also I have the Spanish rock, English Spanish rock, and then I have like a super weird Tame Impala EDM song in my pocket right now. I'm just like, I don't know why I did this to myself. I don't know when this will work, but maybe next year. You'll get it next year. Most definitely get it next year.
Hell yeah. I struggle with that even just in this creative aspect that I've dove into a year ago. I'm bilingual. So I threw in a Spanish episode thinking like, oh, I'm gonna start doing English and Spanish episodes. And I didn't think about it. And then I dropped a Spanish episode and it did great. But then I'm like, oh, being versatile can kind of sometimes put you in a position where you have to rethink everything you're doing. Because I'm like, wait, now my entire audience, they're primarily English, but now I just didn't give them something. Now I have just a
Right.
Spanish. I fucking panicked, dubbed my own episode. It's so cringy. Don't look it up. Anyone listening, don't look it up. It's so embarrassing, but it's exactly why I relate to what you're saying when it comes to versatility can be so chaotic. So I can't wait to listen to it. I think it's going to sound beautiful and I cannot wait. I came up with this one just very quickly. Twisted Gospel, Twisted Christian, because you
Yeah.
mentioned it. This wasn't in my notes, so I'm totally improvising right now. Would you ever consider doing something in the positive alternative realm and also putting that out?
Oh yeah, 100%. I am not against it. I'm in a different path right now, so I feel like I would want it to be open to interpretation. I don't want it to be Christian. I don't want it to be, religious. I guess I just want it to be spiritual if I was to drop something like that because I would want it to be versatile and for anyone to hear it and anyone to enjoy it and feel empowered. I kind of just, I was forced, but really encouraged to be in my church band when I was young. So from 15 to 18, it just became, and being LGBTQ plus IA, all the good stuff, being in that church, having to play in this band and then getting off stage and then hearing someone speak about how bad being gay is and not knowing that their bass player is a full-on lesbo, like I was very much in internal battle for a long time in the church band that I immediately turned my back on music when I turned 18. From 18 to when I got shot, so like a good 4 years, I did not touch music. I didn't think about it, didn't pick up a guitar. Obviously, being on a mic did not cross my mind. So I would want that gospel twisted Alex Irish to be loose for anyone, Catholic, Buddhist, whatever, and we'll see if that can be creative.
Well, you said it perfectly, open to interpretation. And I think that's the beauty of religion when it comes to it being a personal path, not something that's basically taught, because I do believe that religion is inside of all of us. I think that it's something we're born with, but it truly is up to us to discover it in our own way. And whether it's a God, a female God, whether it's whatever higher power, I think it's just a self-journey thing, but open to interpretation. I couldn't have said it better. I think that's 1000% what music should be anyway. And you actually said it a minute ago where people think that Psycho is about a girl or about a breakup, but yet it's about this internal battle. And the fact that you've been able to translate it in two different interpretations is just genius. So I love everything you're doing. I am so grateful that we connected, that we crossed paths. Again, this couldn't have gone any better for me because I want to be that example to people that connecting with people doesn't have to be premeditated. It doesn't have to be something that is very by the book. I want artists to also be able to come on here and escape their artistry a little bit and touch roots into why they started to do this in the first place. So thank you for giving me your time. I'm humbled by it. I'm humbled by this conversation beyond imagination. So thank you.
Yeah, this has definitely been like one of my best experiences speaking to someone in your position. People want to ask crazy questions or be insensitive, but thank you so much for just being so graceful and a great listener too. On top of that, I go on podcasts and I'm like trying to figure out when to speak or whatever, and we're talking over each other, but you've been so great. Thank you for having me.
No, I appreciate that so much. And lastly, tell everyone where to find you, where to stream your music, and we'll wrap it up.
Awesome. So my name is Alex Irish, Irish like Ireland, Irish. You can find me at Alex Irish everywhere. I like to keep it simple. So you can find me on Spotify, Apple, Instagram. Facebook is for family. But yeah.
And check out the new EP, everyone, because I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with it. So
yes, y'all go check out Loud. It's a 3-pack EP. Follow me and DM me, guys. Ask me any questions. I'm very friendly. I'm not scary, even though my Instagram looks kind of, but I swear I'm very nice, y'all.
I love that. Thank you so much. I don't even know where to end it because I'm just so in awe with you, in awe with what you're doing. And I'm just very grateful for it. So I'll definitely be in touch and I'll give you all the details on the episode. And yeah, we'll stay in touch for sure. No doubt about it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You have a good day.
You too. We'll talk to you later.
Bye, y'all.
Hey, if you've made it this far, don't forget to follow the socials on the screen or in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. See you next week.